Again, if the mom gets all the credit when the kid turned out to be great and phenomenal and whatever, so on and so forth, Gloria James, even though she was a horrible mother, even though she could have all been fucking downfall of us never even know who LeBron James was, she gets fucking credit for being fucking LeBron James' mom because LeBron James is LeBron James. So no, she gets the same, and his dad doesn't get no credit. Nobody's well, what about the dad? So if it works in the fucking positive, why would it not work in the fucking negative?
What's up?
Yeah, I just want to go back to kind of what Trigger Mike's super chat and just the sentiments. I'm just, as men, why do we keep trying to find a way? Because here's why I know. This is why I say it's internet shit, Hemp. Because I know Hemp as a father. I know Trigger Mike as a father. I know Aaron as a father. And Miss Fantastic as a father. If y'all were sitting on the bench and a man came beside y'all and sat on that bench, there would not be an excuse that he could make to y'all other than he's being chained to a door of why, if he knows his child is failing, that he shouldn't be doing everything he can to improve that situation. So why when we come to the internet, then we start having conversations about what women do or not do or don't do, and as if we can remove men from that equation. Because I know in y'all real life, y'all wouldn't be sitting next to men who talk like that. You would be like, hey, bro, there's nothing that should be to keep you from the child that you made or keep you from ensuring that your child is getting the best education possible. But it's allowed on the internet for what reason? And that's why I say we don't need to do the comparison game, right? Because we know what it is, the breakdown of the home, the lack of prioritizing education. We don't need to talk. We don't need to talk about what the Asians are doing. We know what we're not doing in our community. So I just don't understand why we keep doing this scapegoating of women as men when we know once you lay down with a woman to make a child, now you got an uphill battle. And as a man, there should be nothing that can prevent you from ensuring your kids do what they're supposed to do. Why we play that game here?
Yeah. Yeah. So the yeah, the argument is actually interesting in terms of who's to blame. I don't think it's as simple as whomever's there is to blame. Right? It simply can't be that simple of an equation. Right?
But it is. No, but it
It's
is. And
not. It's only online, Tiki. It's only online. I know they don't follow this in real life. I know they don't.
well,
You literally
the
do.
issue is it goes back to who's present, right? Like I get what y'all saying, right? And this kind of happens every time we had a conversation. Me and Shadow will try to do the, you know, maybe the meta conversation or the meta analysis while fantastic. And I think Aaron sometimes would agree. He's stating what's right in front of him because although there's an acknowledgement that black people, you know, have had the struggle, social, economic, whatever the case. His belief generally, and we address this, it shouldn't affect black people to the degree that it has. Where me and Shaw will go, I don't know if I can necessarily agree to that. So
Yeah.
we can talk about all the social economic stuff. At the end of the day, Fantastic is saying there's a kid here. You're the only person taking care of the kid, whether it be of your own doing whatever. The story doesn't necessarily matter to him. It's the outcome,
Yeah,
which
and
go ahead,
I'm
Fantastic.
speaking to this from both anecdotal and just that it is that simple. Him, it is that simple. Again, if the mom gets all the credit when the kid turned out to be great and phenomenal and whatever, so on and so forth, Gloria James, even though she was a horrible mother, even though she could have all been fucking downfall of us never even know who LeBron James was, she gets fucking credit for being fucking LeBron James' mom because LeBron James is LeBron James. So no, she gets the same, and his dad doesn't get no credit. Nobody's well, what about the dad? So if it works in the fucking positive, why would it not work in the fucking negative? And this is this is why I say this is a fundamental issue and problem with us and only us. When a woman is there, again, she's making the choice to be there by herself. When she first chooses a man that's unsuitable to be a father in the first place, it starts and ends with her. And it's nothing but it's nothing but a positive for her or whatever. Because if the kid turned out to be great, I was a great fucking mom. I did it in spite of. But if he turns out to be a piece of shit, oh, it's all the dad's fault because the dad was here and I had to do it by myself. So you can't play both sides against the motherfucking middle to where the woman always comes out to be the, you know what I mean? If it's good, it's in her favor. If it's bad, it's blame it on the man. So no. So and
So
I'm saying this because the fundamental. Go ahead.
yeah, so I think I can understand partial of that, right?
Why? Why,
The
Tiki?
other part
Why? Why understand
because
any of it? Why understand any of it? If we
because
talk about
the
go ahead.
argument it's
Saying the truth.
the only argument that I will have against that is that there are other people that receive credit as well. It's not just his mom. Talks about his coach. Talks about other things, other people that play a
Oh,
role. So it
name,
makes sense if
name,
there's.
name LeBron James' high school coach, Shiki. Name his high school coach.
Oh wait, but of course he's not going to know the name of the high school coach because
All right,
out
then.
of all the roles that matter is going to be the person that brought you here,
All right,
right?
that's
Like,
what I'm saying, Tiki. That's what I'm saying, Tiki. LeBron James' mama ain't never dribbled a basketball in her life. She didn't teach him shit about basketball. She almost made the boy. She was missing so much school because she was a fucking junkie and a thief. But because despite all of her faults and all of this shit, she gets the credit of being LeBron James' mom. She gets celebrated for it.
but
That's my
who
whole
talks
point.
about but you're saying who talks about LeBron James' mom like that? He don't. If anybody,
Bro,
most people culturally talk about Savannah James more than they do LeBron James' mom. Like I don't know much about LeBron James' mom to be honest, and I don't hear most people talk about her.
he finally married Savannah. Well, I ain't gonna say that long, but he wasn't married to. He didn't get married to Savannah until into his career, bro. I think he might have got married
But
to her in Miami, maybe. I don't know.
fantastic. To be fair, I don't know much about his mom, and I don't hear much about his mom. The only people that I hear associated with LeBron James is his son and his wife, and how she's the go to woman, build and
It's at
expectation.
this
I do not
stage.
hear much about his mom. Yeah.
And that's at his stage now. But I'm telling you, earlier on in his career, Cheeky, that his mom was hella celebrated, brother. Hella celebrated, dog. Me and LeBron a year younger than me. So trust and believe me, when he first came into the league, his mother got nothing but praises. Okay, even up until like I said, especially until like he came into Cleveland and stuff, they would point her out. They would talk about her even being in the stands and attending games. So of course, as he matured, Cheeky is not the same. That's what I'm saying, and I can give you other examples of other women in the same way. This is what I'm saying, bro. At the end of the day, the somebody's got to do the uncomfortable part and the ugly part, and talk about the issue and problem where it starts. Black women are having too many kids by themselves with ain't shit niggas that they end up by themselves. If they even just pick decent niggas, Cheeky, as to where, hey, even if shit don't work out with me and this man, okay, and I'm not saying it's a majority, but can we agree it's to a point of where you have an overrepresentation that's also problematic? Can we never, I meant to establish this earlier, right? So 51% is bad, right? We agree in negative shit, right?
Avoid. Yeah, 51%
Whatever,
is yeah.
anything, whatever. 51%
Yeah,
is that
sure,
means
yeah.
the majority of bad things. What is the
Hmm.
what is the acceptable threshold of bad things? What percentage is acceptable until it's too high?
I think that just depends on why. Like that would matter to me.
A
Why?
why? It wouldn't be a why because we only thing that matters if it's good or bad. It's a negative thing, Cheeky. So that's what I'm asking, and that's what I don't
Yeah,
think no one ever looks at.
so we you can try to make that a very black and white thing, but just given the history, it makes it more complicated. That's why I give the
Well,
why.
we're talking
So
about something
if
that's serious. We're talking about something that's
uh-huh.
serious as having no new human beings, Shiggy. That's the most serious thing of all. Having more children. So if you're having more children, and we know the worst outcome for possible outcome for a child is just being raised by a single mom with no help from the dad. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that's the majority of cases.
Right,
What I'm
right. You
saying is
just saying. Mm-hmm.
we have an overrepresentation of that in comparison to everybody else. This is why we keep getting the results we're getting. So if the women just change their attitudes and habits of the men they had kids with, fuck all you want, right? That's inconsequential. But when it comes to having children, you should be having children by men that want to be fathers at the very least, and are going to do what fathers are supposed to do. I'm with you, Todd. I think there's nothing worse than a man that fucking has a copy of himself and says fuck them kids. Literally, right? I think it's nothing worse than that. Okay? Nothing worse than that. But at the end of the day though, those men only become fathers because the women make them fathers. The women choose that man to let bust all up in her and have the baby by the nigga. He's an ancient nigga. Ancient nigga's not gonna stop being an ancient nigga at nobody's behest. More likely than
So
not.
agreed. No one's disagreeing there. Nobody's advocating for bad men. How do you determine who these bad men are before you get pregnant or during the pregnancy or whenever they decide to leave. And then two, if you do get pregnant, right? I think this is why I'm the more and more I have these conversations, the more and more I become pro-choice, or yeah, pro-choice, is because if we make it that black and white, if you're not, I'm at the point now. If you're not married and you're having a baby, or you're pregnant, get rid of it. Right. That the only way that I can for sure guarantee that somebody may be there, at least legally, right, is if they're married. So if by chance you happen to get pregnant, get rid of it because you're going to be responsible for the outcome of that kid, regardless of the history, the nuance. It's if it's going to be black and white, it just makes sense. And we're saying that this is the detriment, not the worst thing, not the condiment. It's the worst thing. You got to get rid of them. We can't keep having kids then. I just that I'm advocating for that now. I think that is the most black and white, obvious answer in the world.
That would be an extreme. That would be an extreme because I believe most kids now
is it wait, fantastic. We agree. I agree it's extreme. Do you not think that this issue is an extreme issue then?
For us, yes, of course. You're talking about.
Well, then that means for us, extreme issues calls for extreme solutions. We need to start practicing eugenics now. If you are not married, if you are not married to the man that you are having a kid with and you're pregnant, don't listen to his words. Don't listen to the situation. Don't give a damn about none of that. Fuck morals. Fuck all of that. The real life black white issue is you can't have that shit. And that makes sense. I'm not even arguing on a moral level. It's a logical thing. It's a black and white thing. If we start thinking black and white, my black and white solution is the best solution.
See, you gonna go? You going, Aaron? I saw you come off mute. I can wait till you get done.
I mean, you could treat childbirth as a marriage license, and these mother and father have to be a household together, and if they don't, they go to jail until the child turns 18 and the child gets put in the system. You want to act like married folks? Then be married. A birth certificate equals marriage license.
Yeah, again, I think that again, understanding the reality of what we live in, and that's never going to go backwards. You're never putting that genie back in the bottle. I think the majority of kids being had nowadays are not had by married couples. Okay, that's just across the board, right? So understanding that's unrealistic. But Cheeky, I think you're going by the extreme. And you're saying the same thing I'm saying, just on the opposite end. Cheeky, I'm with you. Eugenics is a very, very important thing that the black community needs to start practicing. You just need to start practicing it on the fucking onset, not on the backside. Pause. Choose a better motherfucker to have a kid with. Both and Cheeky, let me give the niggas some of the same smoke. Don't be nothing in the bitch and be baby daddy number 3, 4, and 10. Okay, it should be the same thing for the man. But again, we know the women are the more.
Oh, he breaking up. We gotta wait till he come back.
This what I want to point out, man. And I've been working on this theory. I'm gonna keep building it. We have become masters at scapegoating. Because I made a point earlier that we kind of went over, and we kind of got back to what.
You back
now?
You back? Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, you back.
What Aaron was getting at, that we've been having this conversation for 180 days. I'm not sure if you're talking about me, but the average parent, not this caricature of parenting that Mrs. Fantastic keeps talking about. I'm saying all of us that think, and I'm not a parent, right? But I'm saying, and I love my mom to death, and I think if she heard me say this, she wouldn't be like, "Oh, why you say that?" I was a very smart kid to the point where my mom didn't check my homework. I never quite developed good study habits because I was able to use my natural ability to get by. Once I got to college and I had to actually start studying, I started having problems. Because as a kid, I was in a gifted program. I was in an AP class in high school. My mom never was the type of mom to come in my room. Are you doing your homework? She just assumed that I was doing it because I had all A's. And most of the time, it was just memorization, being able to understand the concepts. But I never developed great study habits that could have taken me to. I was supposed to be a dentist, but I was like, I ain't doing all that schooling. What I'm getting at is we can keep talking about the baby mama that sleep with the horrible dad to produce the kids. I'm saying y'all want to compare ages when y'all want to talk about the baby mama. No, let's compare ages when we talking about us, the quote unquote good moms and dads. I'm saying the quote unquote good moms and dads are also creating an environment for mediocre students. That's what most of us are doing. The average parent in America is not creating kids. They're going to do something amazing. They're going to be a worker. They're going to go to somebody's job. Most of our parents as millennials told us, go to school, get an education, get a good job. Now, most of us at 35 are like, damn, we worried about AI. We worried about what's going on with the economy because the education that we received at best will make us good to work for somebody else. So we can keep scapegoating the poor people, but we and not address our own sins and our own deficits when it comes to prioritizing education for our children. Most of us, every time I go out to a restaurant, I see a mom and a dad with a kid with an iPad. That's the average parent. It's an iPad at dinner.
Yep.
That's the average parent. So we can keep scapegoating the poor people. Let's talk about us, what we do. Summertime, most of I don't have kids, but I know most of the people I know, they kids kicking it during the summertime, or they might got a summer job. There's no enrichment going on to prepare for the next year, or to steam them past what the current curriculum is. That's the average. That's the average parent. What about that part?
So how do we reconcile everything? Because I agree, parents are lazy, right? Very passive. As long as the kids are clothed, bathed, quiet, most of the parents kind of go through that motion until the kids get into formative school to where, hopefully you think the parents are trying to help them study and such. But the formative years are 1 through 4, where they're in daycare or, home, right? And most parents, I think, are waiting for nap time so they can sit back, relax, maybe take a nap themselves, And the iPad does a hell of a job of keeping kids' attention. So now you get a little bit of your time back. You get a chance to take a nap and etc. That happens. So what now, how do we reconcile the numbers on the scale from math to reading where black children are lower on those totem poles? What do we think what do we think? Do we think that our parenting is more lazy, Shaw, based on the premise that you're exploring?
We outsource it. Like I said, when you give them the iPad, right? Because there's studies that talk about what happens once you put that blue screen into a child's face, the detriment that causes over time. You know what I mean? Versus you creating that curriculum, right? Hands-on learning, these types of things that we got in the gifted program, fortunately. But I'm saying that's not what the average child is going to receive.
No, I got
He's
you.
Gonna get an iPad.
I'm saying though, do you think that the Asian child doesn't have the iPad at the same rates?
That would be my speculation.
They do, because they're leading in STEM. I think what we're not doing is leveraging the use of these devices properly. I think they should be educational tools rather than recreational tools. Right? When we talk about the fields of like computer and technology, is right where the Asians are leading. That's the industry they're using. That medicine, which is largely technological, is driven by technology. I think we need to use these things as tools rather than toys. And we should absolutely be instrumental and integral in their use of them and their interaction with them. But a lot of the programs and software that we download on it should have a didactic and educational purpose rather than recreational.
I feel what Aaron is saying. I guess I just wouldn't speculate. I'm saying, Aaron, my assumption would be that when I for instance, when I see the kids with the iPad, it is a learning experience. Yeah. Most of the time, right? I still see the cartoons and stuff too, but I see Miss Rachel and all these different programs, and I'm saying that I still think we are relying too much on technology. I'm agreeing with you; it should be a component, but I still think we are relying on screens too much and sedentary learning. I think that is a problem in America specifically.
So sure, there is an element of that, and I can tell you exactly where you would subtract from to fit what it is that you're suggesting, and that's as soon as that screen goes to Roblox, that's when we hit the power button and engage in some shit that's tangible in real life, right? Okay. Because that's something else that, you know what I mean? You're right. There are some things that are educational because you kind of have no choice but to be. At a certain age, when you're young, there's not much recreation. Everything is, the world is so new, it has to be educational, right? It's A, B, C, D, E, F, right? Some Baby Shark. But once the kid has enough, knowledge of the real world to where some of that time can start being devoted to something recreational, like Roblox, that's where the power button gets hit.
I got you. Right, and I agree. I just think overall, I'm saying is that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It just overall the way we prioritize it, we're not curious about it because I'm saying most parents aren't again making sure they're preparing their children for what the world to come. Our
I
parents,
agree.
millennial parents, were the ones saying go to school, get education because they were just taking what was fed to them, and now you see the children that got that information are kind of struggling right now.
Right.
So
Right. So that's another thing that I always like to say is that the things that our parents taught us are things that they learned yesterday,
Right
and when we go to apply them tomorrow, it will be even more antiquated technology or
there you go.
antiquated information. Right.
There you go.
We're
Yep.
not really teaching things that will be beneficial to them when they go and need it. You need it. We need to teach them how to think, not what to think.
There you go.
so
Yeah, but
how does it correlate back to? So this is what I would ask, right? We didn't get to finish the video, but it has several examples of the money phone, the bust down, the TikTok, and right with black children. Anecdotal, can we extrapolate that? That would be the argument, but I don't want to get stuck there. Cheeky does a
yes.
decent job of showing me examples of other races with similar behavior, right? Because again, it's
So
it's a few examples for what 10 million kids, right? I'm just asking, do you see similar behaviors in children of other races? Money phone or whatever. Do you have
yeah,
examples of the
but have
elaborate proms and such?
Yeah. Especially
yeah,
for
but
like
no, but Hammond, that's what I'm
Hispanic.
saying.
Hey,
So
I know this is Miss Fantastic House, man, but hey, bro, you can't be. Come on, man. Try to talk this in the car, man. You break it up.
Yeah.
I know, I'm new here, man, but I'm just saying, Miss Fantastic. Come on, man.
Well, because I'm just trying to compare, right? Compare these anecdotal examples, right? Do we see that, right? Why are these people, they're making videos disturbed? We didn't get the video yet. We didn't get to the video with the teacher who was shedding tears based on, I think it was high school students that couldn't read.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I know specifically Ballou High School in DC a few years back. I think it made national news. Had a 20% graduation rate, and then they start fudging the numbers, and people start getting arrested because then kids was graduating and couldn't read, couldn't pass the test, and etc.
yeah.
So, do we have examples of predominantly Asian, white, other places where they have that same or similar issues, similar social media presences, and etc.?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It is all it's very disheartening to see. It's like black people. We love putting each other through this humiliation ritual. And I don't, because like I said, I think my living situation might be unique. I don't know. I'm sure the other people, like being in Atlanta, I'm literally in a SWATs, and anybody that's from here will tell you, like, yeah, it
And
might be a shootout. It might be a shootout next week, but then you also got old black money 2 streets over. And I'm saying when I'm riding down to my house and I ride past those what we consider like projects or impoverished neighborhoods, I don't see in mass the kids looking unique. They look like most kids at 12, 13, 14, 15 with a backpack
they're not
on.
in the designer. And
Regular.
they
Yeah,
not in the
not no
designer.
designer, regular kids. I see kids looking at my window, walking to school. Regular shit. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying we should ignore it. I just don't get so alarmed by like these images of social media because I'm still I acknowledge that it happens, but we make it seem like that's us every time we find 3 videos.
Every time, bro.
Now the
Every time.
education part help in particular, I'm with you. There is a clear issue with education in America across the board. Even though you know, what I mean, we do the comparison, but I'm saying across the board, the children are not being prepared for tomorrow.
So, do the kids got that shit on? I would say the
They be
majority.
alright.
I say, yeah, they don't have the big boy
They
shit
be having
over in
jeans
math,
and like
but they
t-shirts.
but they can have cool sneakers on. Like I'll say
Yeah, for
that,
sure. Yeah, for sure. You
Um,
gotta have your sneakers right.
even me, right? So my wife usually be pretty like fruit because they feet the younger kids they feet change so often, So we lived in DC, so New Balances is cool. You know what I'm saying? So they always have New Balances, right? And so she bought Nori some Reeboks. No, not Nori. Nova some Reeboks.
Some Riri's.
I couldn't do it, bro. I took them shits back. Fuck
Right,
that.
take the Riri's.
I said, not my big
But
baby.
you did
man.
that.
That's what I'm
But you did
saying.
that.
I know. That's why
That's funny.
I'm just highlighting like the fact, right? I'm like, nah, not my big baby. You're not doing that to her. You know what I'm saying? And I took them shits back, got a whatever, some more acceptable. I think some Nikes or some New Balance. But I'm saying that I did that, and that's just an anecdotal example. Like,
Why were they unacceptable? Did they not function well as shoes, or what?
They Reebok, Aaron.
What's wrong with that?
No, man. Just
I
in
ain't
the
like
hierarchy of
See,
shoes in the hood,
and
in our
that's
community, man. The Reeboks don't get much love, man.
What?
the
They
only
don't get as
ones
much
that got
love.
love was the Iversons. That's the only ones I remember. Like everybody was kind of rocking with.
if you older, you can get away with the classics.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah, the
Soldier,
classics.
Soldier Reeds.
That was it. But either way it goes, it's like again, I'm not gonna fault the kid for having clothes that the parents want to give. And I'm not going to say because that's what the kid, if that's what the parent wants to do, that automatically I should assume that they're not doing well. All right. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't want to make that assumption because that may not be the case. But especially when it comes to that prom thing, every time it's prom season, I know I'm gonna see racist white people coming to come. That's why y'all can't read. And it's like,
And
wait a minute.
And Miss Fantastic too. He gonna be in the comment
Well,
section.
yeah.
Like, definitely finna say it because the niggas can't read. They can't. They can't. It just is what it is.
I think what Cheeky said, Miss Fantastic. Why is that the assumption for every black
Because that's what the
child?
well, it's not every. Of course, it's not every black child, but we got to go by the numbers, bro. Again, this is. I guess is what y'all don't. Again, listen.
No,
Even if it's not a majority and thing, that's why I asked the question before I start breaking up. I guess, and I didn't get an answer. At what level of negativity is acceptable? What's the percentage of negativity that's acceptable? So I think we
25
start. Go ahead.
25%. If every good widget holds equal weight as every bad widget, then 25%, meaning that a table can stand with 3 legs. After that, you start compromising its ability to function.
Appreciate you, Aaron, from an engineering standpoint, right? So
Yes.
what I'm saying, y'all, is it seems to me, and I'm just saying seems, right? Because when I go to it and I do these things, a lot of this stuff is anecdotal, but then we go to the point of where we're saying you have 85% inefficiency in fucking reading and math. That's well over 25.
I'm with you.
This is what we're saying.
I'm with you.
so we're not disagreeing.
Yeah.
Okay,
just hear me out.
there's no disagreement there. Yeah.
So it's an overwhelmingly prevalent issue, right, amongst everybody across the board. This ain't just the poor kids. I know for sure that the poverty rate of the black community, Cheeky, is what, not even 20%, not
13%.
30% for sure. That's what I'm saying. Not even 20. So how do we get from 13% to 85% inefficiency in fucking reading and math? So that's why I keep talking about. Just real quick. This is what I'm saying. Y'all are putting these things. I know these things are factors. Poverty and shit like this is factors. But once you exceed those percentages by too much of a number, it can't be that. It becomes a cultural issue at that point. And as to how and why are we at this point as to where it's not just the poor kids, it's the middle class kids, and I guess even some of the upper class. We talking about 85 fucking percent, bro.
Yeah, I think what Cheeky, I think when I keep getting at is like our what's the word? Our the things that trigger us. So it's like again, your assumption is, or your premise is, since black people are doing bad, no black people should be able to celebrate, and no one's kids should be able to. Because I'm saying, I'm saying that's the only way I can see it, Miss Fantastic. I'm with you. We all agree there's a crisis, but I'm saying if I see a kid at a prom with a nice car, my assumption isn't his mama is some poor woman that's using her tax returns to get this kid. That's just not my assumption of this single image of a black person. But for other black people, it is.
God, and I think that more black people need to think like me and not like you, because this is problematic. Because what sense does it make if we so and now it gets to even broader things. Shot.
Are you breaking up?
I said it long time ago that I'm breaking up again. I'm still shit.
Yeah.
Am I good? Am I good now? Am I back?
Yeah, give it a second. Give it a second.
You like a
I
little
said
Max Headroom-ish. You know what I mean? Like a little.
This shit crazy, bro. Fuck it. I'll just pause until I get back.
Oh, we can hear you pretty good 90% of the time.
90, right.
We can hear you fine 90%.
Yeah, we're just trying to make sure you get it all out.
But this is right.
Be more succinct,
so,
nigga. If you know your internet bad, nigga, you soliloquy.
This shit look good to me, so I can't tell. But like
Go ahead.
no, that's what I'm saying, bro. I think more it needs to be a way more. We having too much fun, Shad. That's the problem. We having too much fun when shit ain't funny.
That's crazy,
I'm
bro.
being dead serious.
No, I got you,
Shad.
man. I get you. And honestly,
I
Miss
know you say
Fantastic.
it's crazy, but
No, that's not a new take. What you said I've heard. Like we do have this like collective like since the blacks over there doing bad, none of you blacks should be having fun. And I'm saying that's an interesting perspective to have, but it's not a new one. It's not a new perspective, right? I'm saying like Hemp is doing well in life. Hemp can't show that in his kids because the kids 2 blocks over failing. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
designer Hemp don't got his toddlers in designer, and Hemp is not sending his teenage daughters to prom in a fucking Bentley and a helicopter.
I
And
got
Hemp
you.
actually has the means to do it. So this is what I'm saying, Shad. We know
He
for a
got the
fact
means to do that. Hemp, you got the means to do that.
And
Bentley
and
and a
and
helicopter.
I'm saying, Miss Fantastic, you only know that because we know Hemp. I'm saying if Hemp was flashier and his daughter showed up in the caddy, the convertible, whatever they ride, and you will be saying, "Look at this, and you don't even know it's a mom and a dad behind that with a very structured family.
the nigga is flashy. That's further makes my point. Is what I'm saying though. People that actually
Yeah,
have
Hemp
it,
ain't
people
flashy,
know
bro. Hemp chill, man. He talk. Hemp ain't flashy like that, bro.
that the people that know what the importance of it, Shad, would rather take that money and put it in a motherfucking IRA for the kid, or put it in an investment for a kid,
How you
or
know they
even
don't
college
have
fund.
that? That's what I'm the assumptions, bro. How
Shad,
you know they don't got
Shad,
that?
Shad, the numbers say it, fam. And I'm looking at these kids. Shad, so one of the biggest areas for the shit is fucking Dade County, motherfucking Miami, bro. Miami area fucking kids. They dumb as fuck. Shad, can we be for real, bro? They dumb. They just look at the school districts in the area that the places happen. If the school district overall is a horrible fucking school district, and I see you with motherfucking Wicks and a motherfucking Bentley and a helicopter ride and all this other shit that's on and so forth, and a certain accent, that kid is dumb. I'll bet my motherfucking house on it.
Damn,
Dumb as
that's
fuck.
crazy.
It's not crazy. It's real, nigga. It's real. And that's what motherfuckers hate about me. I'm not afraid to say that a dumb motherfucker dumb, bro. That the odds are in my favor. Could I be wrong? Yeah. Would I willing to motherfucker take a bet on the shit for certain shit? When I see certain shit, come on, bro. We gotta stop acting like we don't know nigga shit when we see it. We don't know niggas when we see them. That's what I'm
Bro,
saying. The people that
that's nuts.
I'm saying, bro,
That's
and
nuts,
this is why
fantastic.
I'm me, bro. This is why I'm me.